Remember one time we were in Departamento Amazonas in Peru, and it was during the time of the Sendero Luminoso and the civil war that was going on there. We rode 22 hours up in the back of a grain truck under a black tarp, and at about midnight we pulled the tarp off, the truck stopped, and we jumped off into the jungle. We stayed the night just at the edge of the jungle and made our ways up to a place called Ingenio in Tambolit. About halfway up we got lost in the dark the next day, so we were praying, me and my dear friend Paco, we were praying, "Oh God, give us some direction. We're lost. We don't, if we're found in here, the terrorists owned the place, the military wouldn't even go in." And we cried out, "Oh God, give us some direction. Help us." We heard a bell. Then we heard somebody talking. It was a strange conversation at first, we thought. But then we realized it was a little boy coming in from the fields with his burro, and he was talking to his burro. And so we got behind him and we followed, and then we stood on the edge of the town, little village, huts, adobe homes. And I said, "Paco," I said, "you know, if the terrorists own this thing, we're dead." "Yeah, but we got to go somewhere." So we got down, walked up to a man who was drunk in the dark, and said, "Hay hermanos por aquí." Are there brothers here? Because everybody knows what that means in the mountains. It means a real Christian. And he said, "La vieja por ahí," the old woman over there. And so I went over there. It was an old Nazarene woman. And I knocked on the door. I said, "I am an evangelical pastor. Please help me." And that old woman reached out with that lantern. She grabbed me. She pulled me inside. She grabbed Paco, took us down. Her house was cut out of a kind of a cliff in the mud, and took us down in the basement where there was some hay and chickens and things. And she sat us there and she lit a lamp. And then a little boy came in and she called to him and said, "Go get the other brothers." And they started bringing chickens and yucca and everything else, risking their life. Why? Because we are one. Stop saying all these silly things that you're saying, that the body of Christ is divided and it's a mess and it's full of sin. I would not talk about the bride of Christ that way if I was you. What you've got is a bunch of goats and tares among the sheep. And because very little biblical, compassionate church discipline is practiced, they live among the sheep, they feed on the sheep, and they destroy the sheep. And those of you who are leaders in the church are going to pay a high penalty when you stand before the one who loves them. Because you did not have enough courage to stand up and confront the wicked.